Good morning. It's Breakfast Poetry Live, April 3rd. I am trying StreamYard today, which will go to YouTube, which will make my Poetry Freaks podcast correct that this will be on YouTube if all goes well. If not, I don't know. We'll just have to do an evening Breakfast Poetry Live and redo all this. So it's morning and it's before work, and I'm taking big chances here, but I'm always a little step behind on that. Oh, all the, stuff in technology that you're supposed to be real whippy at. I'm not. Winter Brew, this is our string of pearls for the 3rd of April. Dad put the Thanksgiving turkey in at 4 a.m. and waking to its perfume died with him. Oh, that is another food-related line in our April National Poetry Month String of Pearls poem. So we're rolling right along. Alrighty. Next, of course, is our universe deck, which is discussed in Poetry Freaks. As mentioned, your 100 words on 100 cards that are going to go beautifully together and inspire your poetry. I draw 3 every day. Yesterday, I drew plunge, curd, lyrical, and I will read the resulting poem now. Lemon curd sparks, a sparkler, brightness imbibed, sunshine cell glow on the tongue and into the essence, the being. Plunge into the bath of the coral, creamy, acidic, the sharp and the light beam, the lyrical glory, the zing and sweet sauce glazes the teeth, summons the melody. Ooh, every time I see the word curd, I think of lemon curd because I have this book called The Art of the Pie, and my son and I made a lemon pie out of it once. I made one for my stepson as well for his birthday. And it's just the best. And there's also a separate lemon curd recipe. I don't know which is better. They're both magnificent, but they are kind of different recipes. So hats off to the author of The Art of the Pie, which is right over there. And I can't remember the author's name, but maybe I will remember to say so later or in the show notes. Okay, so now from the universe deck to pull 3 words for tomorrow's prompt. Like I say, April National Poetry Month gives you I'm trying to get these turned around, gives you a body of work at the end of the month. And today we have furs, peppercorn, tingle. So there goes the universe deck again, giving us a real fun combo to work from. If you want to write along and make your own universe deck, you can, and then draw 3 or however you want to do it. Or you can also write to my prompts, which again, furs, peppercorn, tingle. And you can make it the title and write to the mood, or you can incorporate the words in your poem, as I have been doing. All right. Okay, so here we are. I want to emphasize again the food theme. I definitely have had a food theme in my universe deck writing, and that's just because I'm a big fan of food. I mean, why on earth would I do this breakfast themed poetry show, this food themed string of pearls, if I wasn't? And let me at this point out John Keats's Porridge, Favorite Recipes of American Poets, which is a book from the 1970s. Let me get that date on there. 1975, edited by Victoria McCabe, with an introduction by William Cole. Victoria McCabe, back in the 70s, reached out to poets that she knew, I suppose, or just any old poets, and asked for recipes. And some of them, of course, are written as poetry. Some of them are abstract, like it's not really a recipe. It's a recipe for, existential easiness. I don't know. But we will look at some of those a little bit later. I want to look at the introduction today because I, for one, was confused by the title, John Keats's Porridge, Favorite Recipes of American Poets, when John Keats was English. But I discovered in the introduction, which I'm finding now, wow, there are so many poets who contributed. Here we are. It starts with a line, "What porridge had John Keats?" from Popularity by Browning. And that's Robert Browning. And let me look at my notebook because I was substitute teaching like all around the school yesterday when I got back from my little meeting that happens once a month. And it was one of those things where there were teachers being pulled out to go to conferences while an interpreter was in the building for the kids that have English as a second language. And so I would go to this class and then that class for like half an hour at a time. And I had 5 recesses because I just kept showing up when it was time for recess. It was magnificent. It was a beautiful day. I told my husband about it. I was like, I had 5 recesses. He's like, 5 recesses, horrible. That's the worst thing I can imagine because he doesn't like standing. I don't like standing around watching them. I'm like, well, look, we had 5 recesses. Nobody got injured, which is amazing, which really is sort of a, if I may get personal for a moment, this is a little redemption from the day that I only had to sub 2 PE classes and 5 people had to go to the nurse's office. Now, to be fair, the first class I subbed was a kindergarten class, and one kid did get whacked in the eye with a pool noodle in some tag game. And so he cried, but the nurse was like, the nurse had a student in there with the door shut because there are certain kids who have special needs, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he didn't get to go right away, but before he did get to go, he fell down and hurt his knee. So he cried. After he got attention from me, all the other kindergartners kind of wanted to go to the nurse's office, and I didn't let them all go because they were like, oh, my elbow hurts, and there's nothing there, but I did let like 3 of them go. And then the next class was first grade, and I took them through a yoga pose, and this poor kid was doing, I shouldn't have shown him the spider pose, but one of the classmates, all I knew was I heard him screaming and his face had been smashed into the floor. He tried to jump in the middle of spider pose. Don't do that. Don't do that. I should have said we're not jumping spiders. Anyway, forgive me. I've digressed, but it was a redemption to have 5 recesses and not have anybody go to the nurse's office. Victory. Okay, we're looking for that thing I wrote down, what porridge had John Keats, because I wanted Robert Browning's lifespan, 1812 to 1889. And I did look up the poem popularity, which I need to get a little deeper dive into because he names other people, but only by the last name, because it's like Hobbs and Knobs and it all rhymes and is funny, and Stokes and Snopes or something, I don't know. And then the last line of the poem is what porridge had Keats. So I was actually looking into that while I was subbing yesterday. Actually had this 4th grade class doing quiet work, and then the teacher walked in, so I had to go on to the next class. And that is my little personal story about subbing, looking into the title, the enigmatic title, John Keats's Porridge, English poet, and referenced in the title of a favorite recipes of American poets book. But there are so many poets listed, and I need to go through it. And these are poets that were kind of doing their thing in the 70s. So we'll take another, there will be time. It's only April 3rd to kind of look through that and see what we find, because it's a really fun book. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me on April 3rd, 2025. I'm going to see if this goes to Instagram. I mean, it won't go to Instagram. It used to, you could send I'm on StreamYard. Hey, here's an ad for StreamYard. You used to be able to send it to Instagram and YouTube in one live stream, but now it's like you have to upgrade for that. Is anybody getting sick of that? I mean, is anybody getting sick of, I know it's America. There's money to be made. I'm not making any money. I'm making money at my job that sort of steals my poetic mystique in a way, because it really occupies layers. Like, I work in the behavior room, and my husband worked in a behavior room in a different school a few years ago, and he had all kinds of types. A very calm school, as he says, with very experienced teachers. I have experienced teachers and a good building, but the room is constantly buzzing, and his was not. He could sit there and edit a podcast and this, that, and the other. But anyway, I won't throw him under the bus. He has a different job now, and it's a little more difficult. So thank you for joining me and listening to my little conversation with the void. But please, right along, send it in to @Hipness&Outrage. That's @Hypness_and_outrage, or Hypness&Outrage, all one word, @gmail.com. If you want to write to the prompt or your own prompt from your own universe deck. If you're confused about the universe deck, if this is your first time joining us, check out episode 10 of Poetry Freaks, the podcast. And I outline Michael McClure, poet and playwright, made the strict rules, but I also bent them as I made my own universe deck, just to kind of make it more relaxing and fun, because it kind of came out to me like a math problem. But you don't have to be so strict. All you need are some fun words to mess with, and inspire your body of work for National Poetry Month. Encourage you, read one, write one every day, getting you in the poetry zone, and kind of honing your craft along the way. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I have done 2, 3, 4 years off and on of read a poem, write a poem every day. And I am telling you, I do not use them all when I put out collections because they're not all going to be great. So don't be afraid of that. Just knowing that, go forward and just kind of get your poetry freak on and get some poetry written. So thank you. I love you. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.